Tess of the D'Urbervilles, Phase 5, The Woman Pays. Notice that title, incidentally. The idea that Tess is in any way a maiden is long since in the past. Anyway, she confesses her past to Angel, and he has a minor fit, and he spends the wedding night on the couch. Tess is agog, absolutely speechless at the lack of sympathy, and later this turns into a resentment to his hypocrisy. But at the time, she's just in pieces, and she doesn't see it in those terms. She believes that this is a punishment for sins that she has committed, and it's her own fault. Anyway, the pair spend a couple of extremely awkward days where they each go for long walks and they think about the marriage. And at the end of that, Tess suggests that they should separate. Notice here that Tess makes the decision. Tess takes the action. She doesn't shy away from taking the difficult decision, even though it breaks her heart. Angel, on the other hand, doesn't seem to have the courage to make that break, even though he has become aloof and separate and sullen. So Angel gives her some money just to keep her going while he clears off to Brazil to try and forgive his wife. Is anyone getting the notion yet that Angel tends to have things all his own way? Anyway, Angel, on the road to getting the ship to Brazil, he meets Is Hewitt, and seemingly on the spur of the moment, he asks her to join him in Brazil, essentially to become his wife in Brazil. And remember that Is, like Marion and Retty, is madly in love with Angel Claire. And of course she jumps at the chance, but she also tells him that nobody could love him as much as Tess does. And upon hearing this, he drops Is as well. And he goes off to Brazil. She goes home in floods of tears. Tess, meanwhile, does spend some time at home, but she finds the atmosphere too difficult, so she leaves to join Marion at a farm at a place called Flintcombe Ash. Look at the name, incidentally, Flint and Ash. These are words with very grey, harsh, negative connotations, and that, of course, is reflected in the landscape and the tone of this entire phase. It's very hard, it's very grey, it's very unpleasant. Anyway, Flintcombe Ash, Tess and Marion are joined by Is. But when Tess is making her way to the farm, she's recognised again by Groby, and as Tess's luck goes from bad to worse, he turns out to be her new boss. In keeping with Hardy's use of pathetic fallacy, the bitter weather, the bleak landscape, the intensely physical work is meant to represent the turmoil and the harsh straits that Tess's mind and heart are in. As Tess's money runs out, she visits Angel's family, but on the way to the family, she finds herself walking behind his snobbish brothers, Felix and Cuthbert, and also the pious Mercy Chant, who, you remember, she was the girl his parents had hoped Angel would marry. And while Tess is walking behind them, they are discussing the foolishness of Angel's marriage. They haven't recognised Tess behind them. Incidentally, on the way into the village, Tess changes out of her working boots in order to wear a pair of shoes which are more refined when she presents herself to Angel's family. And she leaves the boots under a hedge, I think, so that she can wear them on the way home. But while she's in the village, she can wear these other shoes. Anyway, walking behind Angel's brothers and Mercy Chan, Tess is overwhelmed by her sense of shame and she abandons the visit. However, Mercy and the brothers have already passed by Tess's boots, and they think that the boots have been thrown away by someone, and they pick them up, intending to give them away to a deserving charity cause. So Tess loses her working boots, and on her way back to Flintcombe Ash, her bad luck is more or less compounded, well, it is compounded when she stops in to hear a travelling preacher. And when she looks into the tent, she discovers that the preacher is none other than Alec d'Urberville, who, it turns out, has finally been converted by Angel's father. Okay, that's the end of the phase. The usual comments, questions, etc., etc., etc. Tea sponsorship. I will even take scone sponsorship. I have a horrible feeling that my tea and scone pleading will fall upon only the stoniest of ground. Hey ho, onwards and upwards. Hope this was useful.